Good morning, everyone. It's your girl Tama Stitches. Today I would like us to draft a straight short gown. But first of all, I want to draft our basic pattern here. So the length, the things I'm using today, I have my tape ruler, my angle ruler, my armhole ruler, scissors, marker, and my drafting pattern paper. So let's get started. But before we go on, don't forget to subscribe, like, and press your notification bell to always get our draft and trainings. So the measurement I'm using, bust, I don't know if you can see it, bust is 42, waist is 37, hip is 48, the length is 43, half length is 17. These are the measurements I need for just a free short gown. So, but you know, all your verticals, you have to divide them by 4. The bust, the waist, the hip, all divided by 4. So let's start with the shoulder. The shoulder I'm using is 16. Shoulder 16, okay? So your shoulder 16, you divide your shoulder by 2. So that will give you 8. But I like to add half-inch allowance. I always like to add half-inch allowance. Okay, so this is it. This is our 8.5. Because it's a free gown. From that 8 now you mark 9 inch down. Then you remove 1 inch for shoulder slant. Your shoulder is not straight, so it's always slant. So use 1 inch for your shoulder slant. So let's roll it out. Let's ensure it's 8.5 or half here to be the same with this. See what I'm doing? This is my shoulder slant. This is roll out. This is my shoulder slant. This is my shoulder length. Sorry, this is my shoulder length. So I'm going to be using 3 inches for our neckline. So we'll now roll out the shoulder slant from here now. So now this is what we'll have. So our neck dip for front should be 3 inches too. 3 inches here. So I use my curve ruler to make a round curve here. You can see what I'm saying. If you can see it. Look around. Now let's get our half length. Our half length is 17. So put your tape rule on top of this slant line, this straight line here for shoulder from the shoulder. Measure 17, which is our half length. Then the full length we are dealing with today is 43. 43. 43. So but what I have here, the full length of this my paper mark here is 39, so I'm going to use it like that, 39. So I'm using the whole length of the pattern paper, which is 39. Then I'll get my hip. My hip is 8 to 9 inches after the waist, so I can count it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I'm making 9. 8, between 8 and 9, you use either of them for somebody of course 42. So let me insert my measurements. Now let me start by inserting my bust measurement. My bust measurement is 42 plus 1 divided by 4. Everything to give me is 11.5 plus sewing allowance actually. So I'm using 11.5 as a whole. Then my waist divided by 4 plus 1 will give me 10 to 3/4. So that's what I'm marking here. Then my hip here, the hip is 48 divided by 4 plus 1, so that will give me 13. I'm using 13 here, so I'll mark the same 13 down, or if I want it more fuller down, I could make it 14, so I have to get a little bit of A down. So I'm using 14.
Which color should I pick?
So let's rule out our marks. The bust to the waist. Our marker is not doing well. It's not doing well. Mark it down to the hip, from the hip to the full length. A little bit of I don't know if you can see it very well. This is what we have here now. This is our basic pattern for a simple short gown. We've forgotten to insert our armhole here. So use our armhole curve. I'll place it like this and connect it. But this is the front. For the front, we have to come in by 1/2 inch to give that, because the front and the back is not the same. We get the midpoint from this slant to here is 8. So I get the midpoint is 4. This is the midpoint. So I'll come in. Can you see? I'll come in by 1/2 inch, which is here. So I place my ruler like this. Here. So this is our front pattern. If we're going to be inserting our dart, because I don't intend to insert dart here. If you want to insert your dart, you will come to the waist here, measure your bust to bust point measurement. Mine is 4.5. You mark it here on the waistline, right? Then you take it up by 5 inch, or you get your bust point where your bust point is. Bust point here is 10, but because I want to mark my dart, I will use 11, giving it 1 inch allowance. So get your bust to bust like this, 4.5, 4.5 down. You rule it out, but like I said, I'm not inserting that here at all. I'm just doing it for you to understand this. So you now take 1 inch both sides of the waist. Then now when you get to the hip, you could give 2 inches up from the hip, or 1.5 inch, so that it doesn't get sharp edge there. I want to use 1.5 inch here, so that my dart will stop 1.5 inch to the hip. So I could just roll it out like this, Same thing here. So this is our basic body pattern. Hope it's understood. When you now want to cut, you can decide to add 1/2 inch allowance round the body, or you decide to leave it, because I've already added the allowance on it. But if you want it to be more free, you can add some allowances. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to cut it off now and place it on my material and cut it. Okay, now if you could look at it, I've placed my pattern on the material I want to use. This fish back is a beautiful color. So I've placed it. What did I do? I added 1/2 inch at the shoulder here. If you could see well, I added 1/2 inch here, then 1/2 inch, because first of all I want to cut the back. So I added 1/2 inch to the armhole where I cut off because of the front. Then I added just a little inches by the side here, then to just run up to the hip. And then again I added to the length. I wanted it to be 42, so the material is up to 44, so I added it there to reach that same 42. So now I've marked my waistline so that I don't mix it up, then my armhole and every other thing. So I'm going to cut it off now. I'm using this back. I've already added my 1.5 inch. If you see here, for zip allowance, this is where the waist is. So this all through down, 1.5 for zip allowance. So now let me cut it off, but I have to move the neckline a little bit higher by 1 inch here. At the end, I need to do some adjustment at the neckline because I don't want it to be that low. So I'll come in by 1.5 here. For the back, I want the back neckline to be a little bit high, so I will now curve it up join to the same. So this is my new neckline for the back, higher than the front. So now I can cut it. Let me notch the zip allowance. Okay, so this is the back. This is the back. So I'm going to use this back to cut the front. I would have, so let me shape, but let me still shape in the zip allowance so it doesn't bulge out. You can see where my waist is. So I'll come to my waist now, go up by half an inch, just half an inch here. I'll now use it to join the line like this. Same thing here to join the main line. And I now measure out that 1.5 inch again. Here, here, it will not thin off. I don't want that bulging there. So it will go in a little. The waistline goes in a little, not much. So now let's go in. Cut the zip allowance, cut it into 2. So let me notch it so I don't forget. Notch the zip allowance. Good. So now I would like to combine 2 materials for the front. So I'm going to use this now to cut the other side. Like I said, I want to combine 2 materials. I want to combine this and a different material. At the back of my clothes, so let me turn to the back. This is the back. This is the back with the writing here, and this is the front. If you look at it well, let's get started. Okay, please like and subscribe to our channel to always get all our trainings online. So now there's something I need to consider. Where the fish scale is facing has to be the same with the front. So this one is facing up here, this one is facing down. So I have to turn it this way so that it will all face the same way. Now there's something I need to do because I want to join 2 materials. So cutting the one piece, just half of the front, half like this, I'm going to be adding 1 inch for joining the 2 pieces together to be able to get to this same size with this. So to that effect, you know, I have my zip allowance here. I would have said let me use my zip allowance, but I don't know how it's gonna look. It will, yeah. I've already curved it out, so that is my problem. Except I just place it in a way that I'll just cut it. I don't want that zip shaping I did to the zip. I want to make it out. So if that be the case, let me just connect it. I want it to be straight. I don't want it to be curved. So now I've been able to straighten it out. So I'll just cut it exactly the way I cut for the zip with zip allowance, the back and the front, because I'm joining. So let me just go ahead and cut it up. Then I can now do some adjustments to it. So let me cut this off. I also have to adjust the armhole. Always mark your back to avoid you sewing the front and the back together. Put an X mark on it. Okay, now done with this. So I'll now remove the back, which is 2-piece. I removed it like this. I'll remove it and keep it aside. So now let's work on the front. Now the front has an allowance here. So I need to trace down all the allowance down. Okay, I use 1.5 inch here for the zip allowance. So I'm marking it all through down. I want to make mine to just be either 1/2 inch or 1 inch. That's what I want. So this is what I want. This is the back. So let me make the joining to just be 1 inch. So I want 1 inch. If not, it could be 1/2, but I just want to use 1 inch to join the two fronts, because they are two different materials. This material for the second piece of the front, so it will be 2 sides. Let me cut it and I'll show you. Hello, so this is of what I was trying to achieve, a different two materials in the front. So now I've been able to join them here. See, I've joined them, so I'm going to iron it down. Then I'll reduce the neckline. It's still the same size with the back, so I'll come down maybe 2 inches or 2.5. Then I'm going to be inserting pocket by the side. Okay, so this is the front now. So now this is our back. So I will still go and join the back, the zip allowance at the back. I'll join it. I'll come and show you. Okay, so this is our front. You can see the two beautiful materials are matched together. Then this is the back. Okay, see where I've joined it. I use 1.5 inches, so I've joined it. You can see the shaping at the side here. I've joined it, so I'm going to iron them down. I'm going to iron them down, trim them to be equal. Okay, then adjust the neck, and wow, our pocket will be inserted 2 inches after the waist, so to sit in well. So this is what we have. Please, if our tutorial has been helpful, please click the notification so that you always get our notification bell, so that you always get all our online trainings, which is free. It could help you in any business you're trying to start. At least you should be able to do small things like this, basic patterns, small free gowns for yourself. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and like our online training. Thank you very much. 10, 9,